Welcome all to IS Pharmacology Difficult Podcast. This is the Weekend Classroom, and I'm your host, Dr. Radhika Vijay. Today we'll be doing again as we did last week, Sunday. I hope you all remember. If in case you haven't seen the first Weekend Classroom, just refer to my last weekend Sunday classroom that I did just to have an idea of what all we do here. So this is just a slide of showing that what all we do here. We examine, we research, we revise, then we learn, then we evaluate ourselves by examining ourselves, how much we gained and how much we understood, and where all are our weak points, where all are our strong points, and what do we need to re-revise again and again, where do we need to pay more attention or put more of effort. So all these points are covered in this particular classroom. So it's just a sort of revision, a very quick revision, not much in detail. For the details, definitely you have to listen to the podcast episodes. And just of one flash, we'll just be covering from Monday to Sunday. So let's get started. Now this is the first slideshow of the Monday classroom, and as per the topic, it was apparent volume of drug distribution. And first of all, I had given the introduction on Sunday, so I'm not going to repeat it in this weekend classroom. It was covered in the last one. So we are just going to do the generalizations, the implications, and what do we get to learn after knowing about the apparent volume of distribution. So these are few of the points. Let's summarize them quickly. Not easily soluble like heparin, insulin, or less lipid soluble drugs. They cannot cross the capillary wall so easily. So, and if they are given by intravenous, that is IV route, they are generally restricted to the plasma compartment, and the apparent volume of distribution is equal to the plasma water. So what we learned was distribution is just not a matter of dilution. It also refers to binding and sequestration. Now the next we will learn how the plasma protein binding affects the apparent volume of distribution. If a drug is highly plasma protein bound, it will be restricted to the vascular compartment. And very good examples are diclofenac and warfarin. Then next point was about the volume of distribution. If it is too large, it has a very large value. The drug is present more in the extravascular compartment. And if it is sequestrated in tissues, its volume of distribution may exceed the whole total body mass also. And very good examples of very high volume of distribution are digoxin and propranolol. And then how the hemodialysis, in case if such highly sequestrated drugs which are sequestrated in the tissues and their plasma volume of distribution is much large, then if their poisoning, in case it occurs, it is not benefited by hemodialysis. It has no special favorable effect. If hemodialysis is done, it is not at all effective. Then I'll give you the relation of the volume of distribution with the pathological states. The pathological states such as heart failure, then uremia, then cirrhosis of liver. This alters the volume of distribution, the permeability, the biological activity of the drug. It alters the protein binding ability of the drug. It also alters the accumulation of the metabolites. And all this is what we are referring till now was referred to the single compartment model. We are not touching the multiple compartment, nor we are referring to it, because we are taking our whole body as a single drug compartment. The next day, what I talked about today on Tuesday, I was talking about the redistribution concept. Now, it's a sort of a special type of distribution concept if you really get to study about it. And its main goal is the termination of the drug action. Yes, because redistribution means it is affected by the lipid solubility, it is affected by the blood flow to the organ. So highly perfused organs, they get the drug distributed to them very easily and first and foremost. And then the drug goes to the low perfused organs. The highly perfused organs, which I refer to, are heart, kidney, and then lungs, etc. And after that, if the site of action is this highly perfused organ, then definitely there will be termination of action of the drug. And if it is not the site of action, then the drug less amount will go to the less perfused organ. And finally, it will lead to a very short action of the drug. The T half will be very short, And very good examples are thiopentone sodium, that is short-acting barbiturates, and then we have short T-half of some other benzodiazepines like oral diazepam or nitrazepam. They also are subjected to redistribution of drugs. But one special point to be noted in this particular thing what I gave you on that day was that if you constantly keep on giving the drug again and again, then it gets accumulated and slowly it becomes longer acting. This whole concept of redistribution is changed if you constantly keep on giving the drug one after the other doses you're giving. So drug is accumulating at that particular site, and then it becomes very, very long acting. So that is one other way to change the whole concept of it. Then coming on to the topic of Wednesday, we started on with biotransformation of drugs. So let me tell you first of all a general introduction. That's what I gave on Wednesday. The process of absorption and distribution, as I already told you in your previous episodes, they determine the speed of onset of drug effect. Or drug action should not continue indefinitely. There should be some sort of brake mechanism, some sort of other mechanisms which can halt this process whenever we desire. Not the drug can indefinitely continue its action. That will be disastrous. So there should be brakes, and such brake processes that are occurring in the body, they are excretion, then they are redistribution, and one of the concepts is biotransformation. So that is the whole goal of biotransformation. So all these processes, they determine the duration of the drug action, not the effect of onset. That is determined by the absorption and distribution. Then biotransformation determines the duration of the drug action. Now I'll be giving you the definition of biotransformation. Biotransformation means enzyme catalyzed biochemical transformation of drugs within the living organisms. The metabolites, what we require to be formed should be less lipid soluble. They should be more water soluble so that they can be easily excreted via the urine. That is, in short, the concept of metabolism also, which we'll be doing in the upcoming episodes. So for today, let's limit our definition to biotransformation only. Now, the main site of biotransformation is liver, though other sites are also there, like kidney, intestine, adrenal cortex, lungs, etc. And one special information regarding the sites of biotransformation is that dead tissues like nails, hair per se, they have no role in this particular biotransformation. So they are not involved in biotransformation at all. With this information, we winded up the Wednesday session. Now moving on ahead to the next day. Now on Thursday, as the topic says, what are the different consequences of biotransformation of drug? They can be very importantly or majorly, there can be 3 consequences, of which 2 we'll be discussing today. And I will be giving you a very long list of examples to note down. So better grab your notepads, etc. In case you missed in the this episode, I will give you a written list here today. So as you can see here, there is a written list, and you can note down. This is for one of the consequences. But let us start with the beginning. So the first consequence is inactivation of the drug. So that means termination of the drug action, and finally the drug is excreted because it becomes water soluble, so it is excreted by the urine. The next we did today was conversion of the inactive drug, which we called as prodrug. So I gave you the definition of prodrug, and then conversion of this inactive drug in the active form. And then I gave you a very long list, and I'm not going to repeat it. You can see it. It's just on the left side of mine. I've given a good list for the day. So in case you form a written form, you can note it down now also. Yes, you can do that. There's no problem. So just explaining you the definition of the prodrug now. A few drugs, they are inactive as such, and they need to be converted in the body to their active metabolites for the drug action, and such drugs, they are known as prodrugs. So that was very simple, crystal clear definition. And examples, you can see the list on the left-hand side of mine. And moving on to our next day, we'll be doing the third consequence of the biotransformation of drugs. So on Friday was a new day, and we started on with some leftover examples for the table for the prodrugs converting to their active forms. But yes, the main topic was not that one. The main topic was the third consequence, that is conversion of an active drug into an active metabolite, and the sum total effect is the sum total of both the active drug and the active metabolite. So there is no doubt about it. When the drug is active and the metabolite is active, the effect will be a sum total of both the drug and the active metabolite, and it will be addition of the effects. So again, for the examples, I gave you a very long list, and it is on the left hand side of mine. You can just note it down in case you didn't you want a written text form of that. It's there available today. You can just note it down. There's no problem at all. And for the details, definitely you have to listen to my episode on the podcast on ispharmacologydifficult.com. And then I would just take a minute to remind you of, don't forget to review the podcast on iTunes, Apple Podcast. Yes, I will be definitely highly obliged for your good reviews and expecting really good ones. So better do that. It will be a very nice favor. Thank you. And that was the whole zest of the topic for the day. And then we wound up the Friday session. Now, coming on to Saturday, I told you about the different types of biotransformation reactions, and broadly they are divided into two types, phase 1 and phase 2, and there are multiple names of the phase 1 reactions and phase 2 reactions. So let's cover them one by one. Phase 1 reactions, also known as non-synthetic reactions or functionalization reactions. So why they are called like that? Because they are degradative reactions, and generally what happens, the drug is converted to a small polar or non-polar metabolite. It can be both the types, and it occurs by the introduction of a new group. So that's why it is known as functionalization reactions. And as I told you, they are mainly macrosomal. Or what is macrosomal? That we're going to cover in the upcoming episodes. Take it as a teaser, yes. So I'm not going to cover in any details about it because we have to start off a new week also. This is just the weekend. And the main reactions covered in phase 1 are oxidation, reduction, and hydrolysis. And generally, the metabolite is inactive, though there are a few examples. Exceptions are always there. And as I told you, as a very famous quotation, exceptions become questions. So whatever examples I gave you as exceptions, do learn them nicely and take care of and pay attention to them. The next type of are the phase 2 reactions. They are also known as synthetic or conjugation reactions. As the name indicates, definitely some synthesis, some conjugation is going on. And the details of these particular reactions are, I'll tell you. They can be catalyzed by macrosomal mitochondrial enzymes. The metabolite which is formed is usually water soluble. It is inactive. It is polar. And then one very good part of this particular thing is that in this, an endogenous radical is conjugated to the drug, and then the metabolite becomes inactive. So there are most of them generally immediately when the functional group is attached to them, they immediately go to the phase 2 reactions. But those who don't have functional group attached, they first undergo the phase 1 reactions. Then through the metabolism process, they acquire the functional group, and then they enter the phase 2 reactions. So that is the difference in the different type of reactions, followed by either the attachment or there is non-attachment of the functional or the conjugate group. So that was all about the different types of biotransformation reactions. For more details, please listen to my episode on my podcast at ispharmacologydifficult.com. Now comes the Sunday topic, and if this weekend classroom is uploaded before then my uploaded my Sunday episode on podcast, then you should go through that episode first, and then you come to this revision weekend classroom. That would be a better idea. So in case you're watching this before you're listening to my episode, I will tell you as soon as you finish this one, do go to ispharmacologydifficult.com and listen to the Sunday episode. That will be much valuable information. That is diving deeper into the phase 1 reactions, that is non-synthetic reactions. We are going to generally cover around the oxidation reactions. And what are these oxidation reactions? I'll just let you know the part of it. I'll be telling you the basic definition of oxidation. Oxidation means addition of oxygen, that is negatively charged ion, or the removal of hydrogen, that is positively charged ion. That is the basic chemistry definition of oxidation that we all know, we studied in our lower classes. They are the most important drug metabolizing reactions. The various oxidation reactions can be of many types: hydroxylation, oxidative deamination, then oxygenation at C, N, or S atoms, then N or O dealkylation. Generally, what happens when oxygen radical is inserted in the drug, then it leads to a short-acting intermediate phase. It can be known as a quinone, it can be superoxide or epoxide phase, and that is very unstable. It generally converts into a very stable compound. And most of the oxidation reactions, they are catalyzed by mixed function oxidases, that is abbreviated as capital MFO. And the most important among these are the monooxygenases. And they are found in liver, and then we'll go into detail. And in the final step, they involve a cytochrome P450 heme protein. Now, I'm going to stop this episode here only because it is turning into a new chapter which cannot be covered today. It should not be started today. It needs a special opening, a new opening, its own opening. So why to waste the weekend? Let us focus on what we have started the whole week. And this was all of that. And hoping to see you in the next weekend classroom. I hope you like this concept of weekend classroom, a quick revision classroom from what we did from Monday to Sunday. So the details are definitely covered in the episodes. You have to listen to them at ispharmacologydifficult.com. There's no doubts about it. So better go to the podcast and have a great time lending your ears, passing your time, just listening to the episodes and learning more and more. So happy learning to all of you. Have a great weekend and give a new, fresh start to the new week. Hope you have a great time learning more new things together. Hope to see you back on the next Sunday. Till then, these are my links to different Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram, where you can go for more resources, more updates, more information. And for the podcast, you have to visit to ispharmacologydifficult.com. So till the next one, take care. Thank you.